What's good, everybody? Island Guy 99. Today's video is gonna be a racial video. I don't mean to word it like that, but it's gonna be about the black man's opinion isn't really valued in society. And I say this because a lot of times when, a good black man has something good to say, people are so quick to shut it down, or people are so quick to question that man's intelligence, especially a black man's intelligence, because it disrupts the status quo. It disrupts the stereotype of what a black man should be. And people, I think, have been, I don't want to say, but people just have been conditioned to think that black men are thugs. Black men are just people that do bad in society, and that, you know, status quo or that perception of black men can be very harmful, because when a good black man, or when a quality black man or stand-up black man states something good that can help out society, people automatically view it as bad because they've been conditioned to think that black men are bad people. They don't want to see that a black man can be intelligent, but they only see, oh, black men are thugs, black men are only jailbirds, and they're not comfortable when a black man doesn't fit the status quo. And I think that's why a lot of times the black man, his experiences or his insights aren't valued, because people expect them to fit the script. And the moment you step out of that, they're viewed like, oh, you're just a square. Oh, you're not what we thought. Are you intelligent? Like, they question you because you don't fit the status quo, because you don't fit what's mainstream. And people have a real problem against intelligent black men. People have a problem against people like that. And, that is just, that can be harmful, because you're not open. They're not open to hear what a person has to say, or what a black man has to say. And as a result, that's why they stay in certain struggles longer, because they're stubborn to hear another perspective that's outside of their own, or they're not open to hear the unexpected. And that right there is why people can be held back. That's why, some companies may not make revenue, because they're not open to different opinions. And, when when you don't listen to different insights, that's how you hold yourself back. You naturally hold yourself back because you're not open. But, that's what happens when, that's how an intelligent black man is treated in society. They think like, oh, the people treat the intelligent black man, the good black man, the stand-up black man, like he's a problem. They treat him like, oh, you're not intelligent. They want to downplay his qualities. They want to downplay what he actually has. And that's just a problem in society, due to racism, due to prejudice, and all other types of stuff. They question when a black man is intelligent. And that's a problem. You know, that's a real problem. And honestly, I don't see it changing. In my perspective, I don't see this changing anytime soon, or if ever. Um, Black men, I think, will always be stereotyped, no matter what, intelligent or not, or whether you fit the status quo or not. Um, I don't think it's really going to change because people aren't open for change. And one thing I learned in life is that some people have already made their minds up about you. So it's no point in convincing them on, how things are, or educating them a lot of times because they're not open to it. People, some people are just so close minded that they're not open to others' opinions. They're not open to a new perspective. You know what I mean? So that's why it's honestly a struggle being a good black man, because people are not willing to hear you. People are not willing to hear your perspective and your insights and your possible solutions on how we can make the society better. They're not open to that because they're so hooked to what's mainstream. They're so hooked to what's the status quo. And the moment something steps out of that, they get all funny, and you know it's like you can't tell them nothing because they don't want to be told nothing. And honestly, there's a song by J. Cole, and he says, "Can't save her. They don't want to be saved. Can't save her." And in this case, it's men and women. Like, don't save them. They don't want to be saved. Don't save them. They don't want to be saved. If they don't want to be saved, you can't save them. You know. So I think this is just struggle of being a good black man, is that your perspective isn't taken seriously. You're taken as a joke when you're intelligent. So it's like, and I can see why others play dumb because, you know, they don't want to show all their cards, and, you profit off of being dumb. And I think that's another thing, is that people that do not so good things, they benefit off of that. People being a jailbird, profit off of that. People being a rapper, people being a clown on social media, they profit on that. So I think it's a money move when you don't show all your cards. It's a money move when you don't show all your cards. And that's something, people can struggle with, especially when you're intelligent. Like, you're going to struggle with, downplaying, not per se downplaying, but you're going to struggle with knowing when to show your cards and knowing not to show your cards. That's a struggle because it's hard to be, when it's hard to be natural to who you are when other things look like they're more beneficial. And, that's a real problem in society, because a lot of society, they profit off of foolishness. They want foolishness. That's what's being promoted, especially on TikTok, Instagram, social media. A lot of foolishness is being promoted, but the things that are like, very insightful, things that are educational, a lot of those things are often downplayed. A lot of those things are often just like in the background because foolishness is rewarded. And, entertainment, I'm not against entertainment, but I'm anti foolishness. And it's a struggle, because some people, it's a struggle because the foolishness and the entertainment is mixed together. That's what makes it tricky, is when entertainment and foolishness is mixed together. Something can be entertaining and not foolishness. But, foolishness just takes a lot out of the entertainment, if you get what I mean. Like, all this other stuff that's on World Star, or people acting like zoo animals, like, that's what takes out of the entertainment. Entertainment can be entertainment without foolishness, but it's a problem because foolishness is mixed in with the entertainment. So it's like, dang, like, you kind of just put the dirt in something that's good. There's a lot of filter and something that can be genuinely good, you know? So it's a struggle. It's a struggle of when good things are seen as bad, but bad things are seen as good. Like, it's very like reversed. Like, a lot of things in society is just reversed. Like, what seems like common sense isn't common sense. What looks like something good isn't something good. Or like, what, all the bad things, all the things that look like foolishness, all that gets rewarded. But all the good things are just in the back burner or used or exploited. So it's a struggle. you know all the people that are intelligent and have a mind and that are thinkers and that are doers, um, they're a lot of times they're put in the background. They're not really embracing society. They're not gonna be loved by society because they expose the foolishness. Intelligent people, intelligent people expose the foolishness, and that is a direct threat in society. When an intelligent person um, exposes the foolishness, when an intelligent person exposes what's real, so that's just what I wanted to talk about today, is that um, a good black man's experience is often a good black man is often dismissed because he does not fit the status quo. Um, a lot of people call a good black man, a stand-up black man, a black man that's in the church. Um, they call him a square because he doesn't fit the normal status quo of what black men or what other people think a black man should look like or act like. So they just see it. People just see black men in just a narrow frame of mind, you know, and it often is intimidating to them when you see or encounter a smart black man or a stand-up black man, you know. And I've even seen it in my own life where, I made a video and like people in the comments were just shocked or would joke about the video I made. And they're like, "Oh," one person said, "Oh, I'm not scared of you." And then like a few days later he deleted the comment. Like, that's the cowardice you'll see, and that's the foolishness you'll see, because people know you hit on something real, but they don't want to accept it. And they don't want to accept it because a smart, intelligent black man, or even just an intelligent black person or person, isn't among the status quo, and is often called a square. You know, they think like, oh, if you're not a thug, if you're not gang banging every week, if you're not about that action, if you don't have no tattoos, if you don't smoke weed, if you're not the weed man, if you know, if you're not giving me no dick, you're a square. Like, that's how a lot of society views black men. They objectify them. They view them as either a thug, a wallet, or a dick, or in some muscles. I'm gonna say that again. They view black men as a thug, a wallet, a dick, and some muscles. That's all it is. That's how society views black men, and anything outside of that is intimidating to them, because that's not the status quo. You know, if you're not a thug, if you don't got a body, if you don't have no tattoos, if you don't got that good pipe, then they're just gonna look at you different. They're gonna see you, oh, he's a square. Oh, he don't got that edge to him. He don't got that suave to him. So that's the struggle of being a good black man, or even just being a good person. People see you as somebody they can get over on. They see you as somebody that they can get a lick on. And that could be a hard thing, So that's just my perspective on why black men in society are often just put in the back burner. Especially good black men are put on the back burner because a lot of society just doesn't want to hear what a black man has to say, or hear what a black man has done in his life. So that's really what I wanted to talk about today. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.